So you watch any movies lately? Outside of the movie we're going to talk about this week, which shall not be named.
It shall not. Yeah, I've seen a couple movies. The big one is Sinners. Have you heard or seen that, or seen anything about it?
Oh, yeah, I've heard a lot about it. Well, not a lot. I've heard many reviews of it, sort of good and bad. What was your take?
Oh, interesting. I liked it a lot. I thought it was great. It was a really fun theater experience. Really, like, unique, I would say, movie. Like, in a good way. Very well realized, like, aesthetically and tonally. I think it was awesome. Very fun watch. They're definitely not like a perfect movie, but a big swing, as people like to say, Yeah. So, I think you'd like it.
Swinging for the fences, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But you've seen good and bad takes? That's interesting. I've only heard really good takes. So
yeah, I agreed with a lot of the good ones. The bad ones were like, oh, like they were trying too much with yada yada yada, and I was like, I'm not gonna read any of this. I have no basis to judge this off of. So
well, also they were trying too much is like a very strange thing to claim about a movie about vampires in the South. Like of course they were trying too much.
Oh, I guess I have seen some like ancillary discourse about that. People always like to imagine that vampires would have like large stores of wealth in the common day, just because they've been alive so long, yada yada.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think it's something that Twilight did pretty well. That they're just like, yeah, they've got like an evil enclave, and they've got a fuck ton of money, and then so like these guys just fuck off, and then they like they hang out, and like I really like the way that they collected the what was it, like the graduation cap things?
Oh yeah, those are cool. That's a cool shot.
Pinions or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. They're like going down the stairs, and there's like 100 or a couple hundred of them, and Bella was like, "Oh, like, do you guys collect that? That's like a funny little hobby." And they like all sort of look at each other like, "Yeah, funny hobby, huh?" It's just, I don't know, it's cool.
Yeah.
So I feel like they did vampires, like, for whatever you might think of the Twilight series, I feel like they did vampires well.
Can I throw something out there for you that won't make any sense to the watchers, but will really just hit you pretty hard? The author of those books is a Mormon, and those books are filled with Mormon ideology. Shit. Yeah, so just putting that out
there. Okay. Is that what the whole like scene between her and Jacob was about when she was freezing up in the mountain and you remember that?
Fucking?
They had to like cuddle.
Yes, of course I remember.
Yeah, they were not fucking. They were distinctly not fucking. That was made very clear in both the book and the movie.
I watched
and it tore Edward apart, and he was like linked to her psychically or something. I don't know. It made it worse for him in some way. I don't know.
I rewatched the last two movies with Christopher a couple months ago, just because he had no idea how they went. And so the penultimate movie, the Breaking Dawn Part 1, I don't know, have you read and seen them all, or like are you aware of them?
I haven't read them. I have watched all of them with Zach and Tori, yeah.
Okay, yeah. You know how insane the fucking ideology of that movie is, where it's like sex kills her, and also like men are evil and it will ruin your life, and like, but it's what you need to die for. Like, really off the fucking chain, like, ideas of sex.
Also, Jacob imprinting on Nessie. You nicknamed my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster?
That too.
Hey, it's crazy that she was more mad about that than the weird imprinting shit. Although I think she learned about imprinting later, and she was like, what the fuck? And they were like, it was the only way that he could save her! Stop! And they make it this weird, like, sacrificial thing. I don't know. Just weird all around. There's a lot of questionable stuff in those movies, but...
Yes.
But, speaking of watching them with Zach and Tori, they walked out to their wedding to the song that plays, I forget what it's American Wine and American Bird by
Iron and Wine.
No, it's Flightless Bird by American Wine and something. Is there an and in that name? No,
it's Iron and Wine.
What is it?
Is the name of the band.
Fuck, Iron and Wine. God damn it. Not American Wine, Iron and Wine. I thought it was like American Wine and something. I was like, no, Iron and Wine. Okay. All right.
It's Flightless Bird, American Mouth.
Bird.
buy Iron and Wine.
American Mao.
Yeah.
Buy Iron and Wine. Okay.
A lot of descriptors, a lot of modifiers in that whole. I bet the album is like
there
5
was too much going on.
long.
You can't blame me for that one. That's a toughie, all right?
I don't.
To the watchers, Zach and Tori danced their first dance as a married couple to that song, cut together. Thanks to Lane, who cut it like the morning of or like the night before because Tori was trying to couldn't find like the version that she wanted, and so we reached out to Lane, came through in clutch. So thank you, Lane.
Thank you. One of my proudest moments.
And they gave them a gift for their wedding, which was like crazy, above and beyond. Thank you, Lane.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it wasn't anything crazy. It was like a gift card to AMC theaters.
I know. Yeah, we were talking about it on the ride home because like Tori had asked her bridesmaids about it.
I remember because it was under my dead name. Yeah, and you were like, "Oh wait, yes, I know who that person is."
Yeah, they were like, "Do you know yada yada?" And I was like, "Never fucking heard of him."
Yeah. Which is so funny.
Like I was like, "Wait, movies? Lane's last name? Brain Blast? That's Lane."
That's so funny. That's great. I'm really grateful to have played a part. That's cool. One of my prouder moments. Definitely better work on that edit than anything I've done on this podcast.
You did a really great job with it. It sounded super crisp.
Thank you.
And like I know we were like playing around with it a little bit to like make it match up properly, and I think you did that really well. So
thank you.
It was sweet.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Shall we talk about this week's movie? Should we introduce the podcast?
Fuck no. I'm done with the Rooskies. Get them out of here. I don't want to talk about them.
You spend one day hanging out with the Mormons and suddenly the racism jumps out. This is my new bit.
You called the Rooskies! Let me pull up the chat logs.
This is my new bit that you're a Mormon. Even though you're a secret KGB agent, that bit is retired. You are now a racist Mormon against Russians.
I'm pretty fine with that.
This is We Want to Watch. That's Ricky. My name's Lane. It's a podcast about being racist to vague white ethnicities. We've definitely gone through like an anti-Italian thing. Sinners definitely could have an anti-Irish.
Italians, yeah. Lane circa May 3rd,
Thank you for
2025, 1:58 p.m. I would be like, fuck those Rooskies.
You know what's great?
Fuck is all capital, by the way.
You know what's great? Is that a minute ago you were like, oh, Lane's last name, you self-censored. And then just now, you just said my actual last name. You're.
Did I actually? I guess I did, yeah. I just slipped on out.
They need to invent a new word for how stupid you are. They need to create an advanced enough insult.
They've got it. Ricky. Boom. And now you gotta bleep that one too. Oh my god, I'm giving you so much extra work. Oh, and you gotta bleep that thing at 30 seconds when I pushed the bottom part of my table and it made that click-clacky noise so it would stop doing it. I did that right at the beginning of the record. Oh god.
This week's...
I'm just making so much work for future Lane.
This week's episode was Elaine's Frame. That we decided to watch Battleship Potemkin from 1925, directed by Sergei Eisenstein. And we sure watched this movie, is how it feels. Listen. I knew going in it would be vegetable-y, but there's something in the water right now where both of us have been, like, dragging ass. And so I think just the combination of this movie being literally 100 years old and us dragging ass in every... You've been working, I've been working. It's tough. Mm-hmm. But...
What made you pick this movie?
Well, I believe I was like, you want to watch an old movie? And you were like, yeah. And then I picked. So, listen, I wanted to watch this because I knew it's a very famous movie. Eisenstein is a very, influential director. And we'll talk about it. I think this will be a more interesting movie maybe to talk about than to watch. But it's film vegetables at the end of the day. I mean, 100 years, watching this at home on the couch just doesn't have the same effect as probably watching it in a theater at that time or even now, you know? So, but it's a very influential movie. So that's kind of why it was on the list to begin with.
Yeah. I will say, this movie made me reflect much more fondly upon Tokyo Monogatari.
Oh.
At least in terms of, like, the disconnect. The disconnect I felt between this movie and A Tokyo Story was, like, not night and day, but, like Minecraft night and day, right? Where it's like there's a distinct difference here, buddy. You know? But, like, it wasn't too crazy.
Go on.
Like in this movie, like mobs start spawning and stuff.
I'm gonna disconnect from the fucking call, Ricky. We have tried to start this episode like 4 times, and we only. I just. What
do you mean? I'm placing blocks and shit. I'm in fucking Minecraft. I'm trying to make a connection here. Trying to bring up something. You know, trying to build.
I'm letting him.
But yeah, I don't know. Like. I saw A Tokyo Story as like, and we talked about this on A Tokyo Story, how like, oh, like maybe we didn't connect to it as well just because of the time difference and because
it's just Tokyo Story. Like, it's just
It's not A Tokyo Story?
No, it's a Minecraft movie. You're thinking of a Minecraft movie.
It's the Minecraft movie, or is it a Minecraft movie?
It is a
Oh
Minecraft
yeah,
movie.
it's so they can do another Minecraft movie, right? My bad. And then they could do yet another Minecraft movie, right? Yeah. Anyway, yeah, no, it definitely made me reflect more fondly upon it. Just, I mean, I think in general, I feel like I like that movie more, and like seeing it in reference to this movie, I'm like, oh, okay, like, yeah, 100%. Like, for its time, that shit popped off, buddy.
Which is interesting because it's not even 30 years later. So, like, it would be like the jump between, so what's a 30-year-old movie? Heat? You know, Heat to, like, a movie now, as far as, like, the form goes, versus, like, Tokyo Story to Battleship Potemkin is, like, a huge
They were really
leap.
that far away from each other?
Yeah. Only 30
what was
years.
Potemkin, 39?
25. 100 years ago.
25? Wow.
Yeah.
Exactly 100. My bad. I thought you were exaggerating that. That's crazy.
No,
wow.
Literally 100. And then Tokyo Story is 53. Oh. So, yeah, it's like the distance between, like The Matrix or Heat to now, which is crazy, right? To think about, like, that things change so drastically in those early couple decades, like such a huge change. And then even like now to Tokyo Story is also a huge change, but it feels way more drastic. Yeah.
You know, maybe I'm recalibrating a little bit. I thought Tokyo Story was much closer to the time of this movie getting released.
No, well,
like
it is
within,
close.
Like 10 or 20 years. I mean, it is close. Yeah, I guess we're looking at 100. Yeah,
100. Yeah.
Well,
let me ask you this, because this is something.
Nuts. Wow.
This is something I think about from time to time. When do you think, like, if you pull up the list of our movies, just so that we have like a good gauge, when did movies start to feel modern? Like, what movie is like the first like really like modern feeling movie?
I feel like there's two sort of, I don't want to say definitions of modern, but like, because there's a lot of like movies from like the aughts that I would like look at and be like, that is a modern movie. But like watching it now, I would be like, it doesn't really look too modern.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's kind of a weird question.
Yeah. It's like
not a weird question, I guess, but it's an odd question to try and answer, right?
Yeah. Like if I'm looking at our list, I would say like the first movie where I'm like, this really closely resembles the way that movies look and sound and feel today, probably The Great Escape. Like everything before that is number one, black and white, but then also just kind of, well, I guess All That Heaven Allows, but it has more of like a expected form to it. It has more of a, like storytelling structure that's more familiar, compared to something like obviously The Trial, but then like All That Heaven Allows is very old feeling. Psycho feels old, even though it's still quite modern. Othello feels very old. So I'm thinking The Great Escape might be it. Although Psycho, predates it by a couple of years, and I feel like that could be an argument too. Like that's the one where I feel like I could show that to a kid or like any lay person off the street, and it would be like a good, like, hey, old movies aren't totally unwatchable the way you might think. I feel like Rebecca, which is a movie we have not watched for this podcast, but is right here. If you look, it's the poster. I'm pointing at the poster behind me. Yeah, Ricky's making the soy face, the pointing face.
I also, sorry I haven't been talking. I've just been rubbing my chin with my thumb and scrolling through this. Yeah,
that's okay. I'm great at narrating, at monologuing. But no, Rebecca is a movie from 1940. That's also a Hitchcock movie. And that one it definitely feels old. It has like that old classic Hollywood kind of like thing to it. But it is a movie that I think you could show to just about anyone and be like, this movie is very, like, this is a good introduction to a very old movie that, is accessible. So.
I feel like Psycho, The Apartment, and All That Heaven Allows, all of those feel like
pretty modern.
That's like standard, like new, pretty modern movie stuff, man.
Yeah.
I mean, even Tokyo Story is like, obviously it's black and white, and like obviously it feels outdated, but it doesn't feel like it's like not a
relevant,
like standard form movie, right?
I don't know. I feel like Tokyo Story would be a hard sell to some people,
Yeah, I think Othello's a hard sell for sure. 1951. Othello is probably.
I wouldn't show it. I wouldn't show Othello to anyone. I like that movie, and I'd be like, let's not watch Othello. There's a lot to go on there. But like, if we're trying to show like Tom, if Tom was like our stand-in for like an average person who doesn't watch a lot of movies, like what movie would you show him? Psycho, maybe, or The Great Escape? I think The Great Escape's a better sell.
Earliest would be The Great Escape. Yeah,
right.
Earliest would be 100% be The Great Escape.
Yeah. So, but
the trial is like formatted fine, but it's like too.
It's crazy.
Too out there for Tom. Yeah.
Yeah. Other than the first movie that feels like you could basically release it today from this list, I think, would be The Exorcist. Like the first movie that you could like totally just be like, yeah.
When I was scrolling and I got to The Exorcist, I was like, that's
the one. Yeah.
That's up there. Yeah. I feel like something like Playtime might be able to work today, but it like...
Yeah, I wouldn't call it
If you
modern.
did like Playtime in New York...
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess too, like the first really commercial movie is The Great Escape, I would say. Like the first like really, or like, well, I don't know, because when I think of like big action blockbuster-y movie, the first one might be Animal House or Escape from New York. I don't know. It's an interesting kind of like thought exercise. Like when does modernity begin for movies? But I'd say 60s, late 50s, 60s at the earliest.
Yeah. I think, I don't know. Obviously Escape from New York is like an action film, right?
Yeah.
And obviously they had the audience for it at the time because they made the movie, right?
Right.
So I wonder when I wonder when like action movies that like were like big like that and we're just like, hey, like don't worry too much about it. We're just here for a good time. Really sort of got big.
I guess The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which again, the 60s. I feel like the 60s is that new Hollywood starting point where it all comes together.
I was gonna say, I don't think that's one that you wouldn't be able to release the director's cut today. I'll tell you that much.
Damn. Yeah.
And I feel like this movie, if cut down, like might be one that could be released today, right?
Yeah. I think people would watch. I mean, people still watch Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, like regularly. I think that's like a classic.
No,
movie,
for sure.
So.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's a bad movie or that it's like aged poorly, but like it definitely has aged, and I think that like a lot of modern audiences, I don't know, like
classic dad.
They don't. I'm not going to say that they hate
is what I
Classic
said.
dad. Yeah.
Dad movie, not bad.
Yeah. No, I know. I heard that.
Oh, okay.
No, it is a dad movie. But like, I'm not trying to like talk shit on it or anything by saying that like it would need to be cut to be released today. But like, I feel like a lot of the Civil War stuff,
you're like, what are you doing?
That's like chopping block material, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's like, hey, they can get captured, but like when they escape, they got to get right to that fucking like graveyard. Like that's gotta.
Yeah, we gotta get
the
on.
Cemetery. You know, they got to go one to the next. Yeah, we got to keep it moving, buddy. But I feel like that's just sort of movies nowadays are very streamlined in a certain way, where like whenever a scene is included, people like will break down to like the nth degree. Like, oh, like why was this included? Like, did it mean X, Y, or Z? If it didn't mean this, then like why are they showing it at all? Like, this really is unnecessary. It could be removed. It's like, all right, well, like maybe it's just there because it's like a part of the movie, man. Like, not everything has to like strictly follow the plot that's going on.
Right.
Like, sorry, I don't know.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah.
I think Jean Dielman could get released.
Sean Dillman is released today. That's ASMR. We went over this.
Oh, true. You're right. Yeah.
I'm realizing now we watched 2 of the 4 posters I have. So we've watched Yojimbo, and we've watched Eat, Drink, Man, Woman.
Yeah.
We need to watch Rebecca.
I was thinking that earlier.
Over here is The Third Man, which we'll have to watch someday too. So.
I also love Yojimbo and Eat, Drink, Man, Woman. I was thinking that earlier as I was looking at the posters. They're such great posters, such good posters. Yeah,
right. They're great. I was like, I don't want to do any posters that have people's faces on them or anything that's too scary in case I ever do drugs. I don't want to be freaked out in my own home. But then I was like, but they look so sick. I've got to do
it. They look so sick, and Rebecca's a good one to fit in the middle there, just because like the red typeset, like it draws your eyes from like the bottom left of the Eat, Drink, Man, Woman up to the top right of the Sword of Yojimbo. It's like, it's nice.
Yeah,
visually interesting. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Yes, we'll have to watch them.
Do you like my blank wall?
I like the poster that you have in the back. That's actually a puzzle that I did and then never took with me when I moved out of that apartment. I like that one.
Lane, only 2 paintings have been hung since you have left the apartment, and none have come down. So
fair. What did you think of? What did you think of Battleship Potemkin? Now that we're fully into this episode.
Yeah. I didn't hate it. It was all right. I think probably my favorite part about it was that it was so short. If this was a 2-hour movie, I would not have made it through. But yeah, it was nice. It was like, I'm not gonna say a chill watch, but like, it was pretty chill. I was pretty chilled out watching it. It was interesting for sure. I mean, maybe not for sure, but it's interesting to say the least. Not like a traditional movie like you were talking about earlier. And definitely not what I was expecting going into it. I wasn't really sure what to expect going into it. So,
have you seen a lot of silent movies? Or any silent movies?
No. I've seen like 1 or 2 like Charlie Chaplin films. And I think that's pretty much it. Or some Buster Keaton stuff, but like that's kind of it, right?
Okay, so comedies.
Nothing...
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing outside of that, I think.
Yeah. I have avoided a lot of silent film because I have the same reaction every time, which is like, I just feel like it's too long for how much is happening. It's one of those things where it's like, the film medium has built and progressed and gotten so much more complex, I feel like, in this last 100 years. Like, and we can talk about, like I said, I think the more interesting thing will be talking about the influence this movie had versus this actual movie. But it does make it very hard to go back and kind of be like, wow, this was like groundbreaking at the time, because it was, but it just, to modern sensibilities, it can be very difficult to connect and be like engrossed by something that is relatively basic.
Yeah. I think also, I mean, part of something becoming influential is it being like sort of like ingrained in people. Like, it's part of the zeitgeist, or it's like
Mm-hmm.
It becomes very background noise. So then when you see like the origin of it,
Oh yeah.
like, you're not blown away. You've seen this in like 10 or 20 different iterations, and then like you'll see that several times throughout the film, and you'll be like, yeah, all right, like, whatever. I've seen this done, and done better, done more refined over the last 100 years, like hodgepodge across like many other films. And it's like, all right, well, cool, but imagine like none of that ever getting made because this movie didn't get made. It's like, all right, I got you.
That's the Citizen
it's definitely
Kane
difficult
problem.
to like.
Yeah. Oh no, go ahead.
Right. But it's difficult to connect to that. Like, even if even acknowledging it out loud, like saying it and understanding it, it's still like
Mm-hmm.
like while watching a movie, you can be like, oh man, wow, still in black and white. I mean, Kane, I think, kind of. Kane, I mean, knocked my socks off. There's still like the
Let's go.
the one scene where it's like framed and he's outside playing in the snow, where he's a kid. He's outside
Literally
playing
the
in the
opening.
snow, and then like it
Literally
backs
like
up
scene 2.
to them like all there. Is that the opening scene? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's when he's a kid. Yeah.
Wait,
No,
is that scene?
it's not the
where
opening,
she's
but
like,
it's
I thought
the
that was-
beginning.
Yeah.
It's the first scene after
I
they
thought that was
do
like
the.
a flashback thing.
No, it's I mean, it is, the whole movie's a flashback. That's the innovation of Citizen Kane.
Right.
But that
Right,
it's the
right.
first scene after they're like, "Well, Charles Kane died." Like the first like newspaper article like intro where they're like, "Xanadu is empty now," and all of that, and then they send Joseph Cotton to go talk to the reporter and everything. Anyway, but yes, so it's an early scene, but I know what you mean. It stands out. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I still remember it, right? And it's still like, still fresh in my mind. I can like literally picture it right now. And so, I don't know, that it's easy to be like, oh, like I totally see how this is like the foundational text for like X, Y, and Z of like just camera work in general, right? Like people being able to go like, oh, you can do that? And then like being like, well, if they did this, then I can do blah, 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 and like just doing it, right? So that's cool.
Not that we should become a podcast suddenly to talk about Citizen Kane, even though I would be okay with this.
Yeah. But you were making those Play-Doh snakes, so what's up? Tell me what's going on.
I was rubbing my hands together. I love that you love Citizen Kane, and I really love that I have seemed to had this influence. You are now the second person I have heard call it Kane the way that I call it Kane. And I'm like, this is catching on. Anyway.
You know what part of that's from, too? The Simpsons does a bit on it, and they
really?
have, like, the Kane from Citizen Kane, and Lisa sees it, and she goes, wait a minute, and they shuffle her away. I miss that Lisa. I miss when Lisa was, like, the voice of reason in an insane world in The Simpsons, and now she's just, like, I'm smart, and also, like, the PC woke character, and it's like, okay, cool, I guess, right? But, like, I don't know. Also, I love Elon Musk, even though he's shitty to... No, I don't know. I'm gonna stop it there. I'm stopping there, anyway.
Do you know what I miss? Having a movie that we want to talk about instead of talking about anything else.
No,
so the big thing, I know, I picked it. It's on me. This is my cross to bear. I had some stuff written down about like the way that this movie was made and some specific plot beats and whatever. But the thing that jumps out to me the most about it that is influential, and I feel like it might stand out even less because it's such a basic film technique. But like when you think about the fact that this was like maybe one of the first times it was ever done, is montage, right? Like there's so much montage in this movie, and like it's such a common and kind of like to our modern sensibilities, such a like a simple thing that's done in like every movie, that the fact that it was like maybe invented in this context is kind of like passé or like doesn't even stand out to us, you know?
Yeah.
But it's in every movie. I mean, I just kind of like briefly when I like thought about it, looked through our watch list, and like Do the Right Thing has a bunch of montage in it. The Wachowskis, like Speed Racer, Cloud Atlas, they have a shitload of fucking montage in both of those movies. Eternal Sunshine, all of Wes Anderson's movies have montage in them. Like, they're
he
all
loves
there.
That.
Yeah. So, Steven Spielberg.
Oh, you know what? Even Eat, Drink, Man, Woman. There were a lot of like it starts with a montage, essentially, from like cooking and then cutting between their families. Yeah.
It's just such a like a straightforward kind of seeming like technique that you don't even think of it as like, this was the first time that this happened, or like, this was invented
right.
here.
Well, it's become so ubiquitous now, right? Like it's just everywhere. Like you're not gonna escape from it. Oh.
Right. And I feel like too, people don't even think of a montage of like a short, like, if I'm showing like lots of clips of cooking a meal, right? There's like short shots, like the intro of Eat, Drink, Man, Woman. People, I don't even think of that as montage. They think of montage as like showing a long passage of time and like little clips of that, and not so much just like a scene in these short shots, like, But that's montage too.
Well, because
yeah.
Well, I was kind of debating it when I was like saying it, or when I was sort of thinking about it. I was like, I don't know if that's exactly a montage, but also like several times in the film, like when he goes to the restaurant when he gets called in, and like you see him like walking in, like there's like cuts between him walking and then like walking in, yada yada. Like it's not like following him directly. I don't know, which I don't know if that's exactly a montage, but when he's trying the different foods and he's like giving them, like I don't know, maybe loosely. I don't recall how much they sort of cut between there, but yeah.
Well, I feel like, and basically, anytime there's like short shots of like not static character, passage of time in a clip, I think that counts. And so I mean, Eat, Drink, Man, Woman definitely does it. All of these. So Pride and Prejudice does it. We just watched that. Yeah.
My favorite TV show, Phineas and Ferb, does it a lot, and they're coming out with their 5th season in like 25 days from the day of us recording. So
that's great. I'm glad to hear that.
I'm excited.
But so it's interesting because I know you've said you haven't seen a ton of other silent films or like really old films, but there is montage in those too, although I think Chaplin and Keaton probably were a little after this movie. I mean, obviously, like, they're worlds apart, literally, geographically distant, but, so I don't know. It was cool to see that and the Steps sequence as the other big, like, mainstay.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that parodied? I'm sure The Simpsons has fucking parodied that. I'm sure, right?
The Simpsons might have. I don't know. I would say, I don't know if this is a direct parody, but in one of the Naked Gun movies,
yes,
that the cold open it's Leslie Nielsen like walking upstairs and he's in a shootout. And, like, there's other shit happening, right? But, I just recall, like, seeing people walking down, and then, like, a woman, like, lost her stroller, and it's, like, bouncing. So he's, like, going to grab that while also, like, shooting out, and he, like, picks up a quarter or something. There's just, like, so much shit happening. He's like, a quarter. Like, and there's just, like, but, like, it was, a lot of it was filmed, like, looking down the stairs, yada, yada. I mean, if it's an homage, it's an odd one to make, and, like, kind of bad taste, man, but I don't know, right?
I do feel like,
at least to me,
I do feel like this. Yeah, I've definitely. So the one thing I knew about this movie was that scene, and that was actually because of the movie The Untouchables, which is like a mob. Well, a movie about cops chasing the mob. Anyway. It's an okay movie, whatever. But that movie has an extended homage to Battleship Potemkin's like Steps scene, where they're in a bank basically, and they're having this like shootout with cops and robbers, whatever. And there's the baby stroller going down the steps. Spoilers for that scene in The Untouchables, I guess. I'm about to spoil that. But he saves the baby. He saves the stroller, and so in this movie, it did actually get a gasp out of me a couple times during the scene because I didn't think the baby would just fucking die in this one. I was like, holy shit, like the baby died. Like the baby fell out. Like it's great. Or like, you know, or the kid, like the violence is very brutal. Yeah.
Yeah. Surprisingly so. It's like...
Right? For like 100 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. For 100 years ago, I guess it's, I think it's also the earnestness with which they approach it. Sort of, because it's not gory, right? But it is like violent.
I don't know.
And I think it's because
the woman being shot in the face is pretty fucking gory.
Yeah,
like, that's pretty intense. I was like, whoa, like earnest too. You're not wrong. That's a good description of it.
Yeah. It's not reveling in it, I guess I'll say. Is what I'm trying to get at. It's an interesting film, right? Like.
What?
I don't know. It's funny to me that they also parody it in essentially the exact same way, or homage it in essentially the exact same way in The Untouchables. B, it's just like odd to me that scene is used kind of at all for like homages. I don't know. Maybe that's me being like too puritanical or whatever. I just like I feel like so. There's like yeah. I just feel like it's like. Not great taste. I don't know. It would be like a movie about like what is it? Like Tiananmen Square or something, right? And then like people like riffing on it later. It's like I would say, especially for like The Naked Gun, like them doing an homage to like a very serious film, but like it's such a joking manner. It's like very like kind of tasteless. I don't know.
I don't disagree with you. I think there's two things. One, I feel like because it's so old and this is such an influential movie, it becomes kind of like less offensive, right?
Yeah.
Like there is and it's more of an homage to the movie than it is like remember this event, you know? But
Yeah. It was only 100 years ago, you sick fuck. Like too soon. Way too fucking soon.
From what I read, though, and we can talk about this too, as you might have picked up, the massacre didn't really happen the way that it's presented. Like, none of this movie is really true. Like, all of this is kind of like...
Okay.
There's truth to it, but not like... It's not like a real historical event in the same way.
Right. Okay, cool. All right. Well, that I mean, assuages a lot of fears with that, right? I didn't read anything about this movie, and that was something I did want to ask you about later. I didn't know if you wanted to keep going through homages with it, but if you want to talk about it now, like, how realistic is the movie? Or, like, what event sparked the, like, close-to-life events that they sort of portrayed in the film?
So there really was a mutiny on a battleship called Potemkin. So that's, like, a real thing. But, like, the circumstances of it were not necessarily just like as straightforwardly, you know, cut and dry, right? In this way, like the sequence of like who shot first and all of that seems to be a little bit more, you know, not necessarily like up in the air. I think it's still, I mean, we support nuclear on this podcast, but you know, so we also support communism, of course, but
whoa.
Yeah. Ricky's like, actually, I'm an ANCOM or an ANCAP. I don't even know.
Oh, fuck no. You're right, ANCAP would be it. Fuck anarchists. They're stupid and lazy. There's no intellectual rigor amongst any of them. Except for intellectual rigor mortis. Please say something else so I'm not stuck here riffing on that, like...
No, I kind of like letting you dig this hole. No, it does seem that there was like rotten food and that there was, you know, like a stirring sentiment, like anti-Tsarist sentiment, right? So there is
a period of mistreatment, yada yada.
Right. And then as far as the Odessa Steps piece goes, there was no like true massacre in the way it's depicted where the soldiers are marching down and killing everybody in sight. Like that did not happen, but there was like a massacre of protesters, but not like at that location in that very cinematic way. So and I'm not trying to like downplay,
right.
But yeah, it's not.
But it's not as tasteless to homage it. Yeah. I got you.
But this is interesting because I kind of felt the same way where I was like, oh, how much? Maybe this is very true. Like this is kind of a story. Like I didn't really question the validity of it, and I think that's very interesting in the context of propaganda, which was probably also birthed right around this time. As far as like film propaganda goes. So.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's also dangerous. Like I think in the age of AI, right, to like trust what you're watching. Like as AI gets better and better, like definitely going to get closer and closer to like. I mean, I don't think they're quite there with like fabricated video or whatever, but they will be, and that's scary. It's weird, and like people can just do whatever with whoever's likeness, and like I don't know, it doesn't bode well. It doesn't feel good to like know that that's sort of coming. But I think it also, at least for right now, lends a like, at least for me, a sort of like heavier credence to like film that is like obviously much older. So when watching this, I was literally just like, oh yeah, this happened 100%. Like this was before people knew how to lie. So like everything that's happening on screen happened in real life.
Which is it is funny though, because that's kind of how they probably approached propaganda at the time. They didn't realize that or not propaganda but cinema. It's like, well, if this is on TV or this is on screen, then like it might not be manipulated.
The train is actually coming at me. Ah!
I don't know about that, but yes, that type of thing for sure. So
yeah.
The AI thing is depressing. Anyway, I don't want to.
We don't have to talk about that, but it's bad.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I have very superficial things to talk about with this. I mean, the story itself is like, it's good. It's very stirring. But it does. That was the one thing that I was like, oh, these intertitles are very philosophically sound. These like the speeches in the beginning, especially, are very like, man, they really had their wits about them.
They got a little Doogie Howser philosopher on board, huh? What's going on there, buddy? You're about to diagnose what's wrong with the fucking Soviet Russia. Good for you, little guy.
And did your version open with Trotsky or Lenin as the quote? Because there's two versions. There's like an apolitical,
I don't even recall. I'll be honest with you.
Because there's
I had two sets of subtitles up the whole time though, and that was fun.
There's the opening with Trotsky, which is very like communist, and then like shot through, and then there's one from Lenin that's very like, the revolution is happening and it's great that we're doing it. So it's two very different quotes, one of them being more sanitized. So
speaking of sanitized, did you hear that I believe it was Amazon removed the intro to Robin Hood from Robin Hood? In the beginning of Robin Hood there was some like just small like title sequence or whatever where it says, hey, like Robin Hood is a tale of a man who like stole from the rich and gave to the poor in a time where wealth disparity was at its greatest, yada yada, like people were dying in the streets, and they just got rid of that, and that's certainly a good sign.
I don't think I've seen this version of Robin Hood. Is it a written thing or is it a dialogue?
Yeah, it was just a written title card in the beginning. I mean, similar to how like Disney sort of approached some of their more like, I'll say not questionable material, but like racist stuff. I don't know how else to phrase it. Yeah.
I bet that's not because Amazon was like, we have to censor this. There's all kinds of shit on Amazon. I bet it's actually because they were too cheap and lazy to like translate it. Like, I bet that's
it was already translated is the thing. Well, that's the thing. They were hosting a version that already had it, and then they removed it, which is why it's weird.
I feel like that's probably a cheap cost-cutting translation thing, and not a,
I mean, again, it was nothing to translate, but I'm not attributing it to some greater evil or whatever. But I don't like it in the same way that I don't like how they, for 12 Angry Men, for their little title card things, they started using AI to make those. Like, I don't like that. I don't like how it seems like they're scanning through movies and just, like, taking out stuff for whatever reason, right? It's just not great, you know?
No,
cool,
no, I agree with you. I agree with you on that. I think there is a tendency to fearmonger about and attribute, like, malice to things that are just
I know. I did start it as a fearmonger thing. I don't think it's like the Cabal was like, they're getting too uppity out there. They might start getting ideas after watching Robin Hood 1947. And, like, you know, it's like, all right, great, cool, I guess. Like, thanks, Mark Zuckerberg. Thanks for telling me what I can and cannot watch. Like, I don't know.
You spend...
Thanks, Jeff Bezos.
One day with the Mormons, and you managed to work 2 race dog whistles into a little throwaway joke.
Wait, what are the two? What are the two?
Cabal?
The Cabal? Yeah, what about Cabal? That's not a thing.
People definitely use Cabal to mean the Jews. I'm sorry to say.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, my bad. Okay. That's kind of funny. I don't know. I've used that word previously, maybe in areas where I shouldn't have. Then my bad. I thought that was just a normal, like, an evil enclave. Can you not say that anymore? Or...
You can't say anything anymore.
Fuck.
Fuck. I do think Cabal is an okay word if you're not using it in a joke exactly like the one you just made.
Well, I was gonna say like no, well, I don't know. I was gonna say Illuminati, but I was like, well, what are the Illuminati? Well, they're like a cabal, and I was like, all right, I'll use Kabbalah instead. I thought that was the more appropriate term. My bad. What was the other one? I'm just out here whistling to dogs all day.
Uppity.
Did I drop a 1488 earlier without figuring out what? Sorry, I missed it again. Uppity.
Yeah.
That's just a racist dog whistle. That's not like, come on.
That's what I'm saying. You said it first. Oh my
God. Yeah, I know.
Another
right, well.
chopped and screwed episode. Another one.
No, leave that in. I think that's funny.
I'll double it. Speaking of Jewish, anti-Jewish sentiment, they did when they were like, the
anti-Semitism,
Jews. I was
anti-Zionism.
like, no, there's gonna be anti-Semitism in the movie, and then they were like, no, we hate anti-Semitism. It was like safe.
When the one guy was like, yeah, death to the Jews, and then immediately like everyone on screen gets like angry face and turns towards him. They did the fucking what is
the
it?
Meme. Yeah.
got the whole crew laughing, and it's just like everyone staring at the camera deadpan. Like, yeah.
Hell yeah. Yes.
They did that, and then he has to like pull his hat down over his head. They start trying to beat the shit out of him. Yeah. That was sick. Yeah. He's pulling his collar up. He's like, hey.
Yeah, I was worried.
See, I'm from the 40s. Worried. You can't beat me. Yeah.
Well, and it was strange because, like, they say something about Chaldeans in this movie as, like, kind of like it sounds like a slur or an insult. Like, they're like, ugh, Chaldeans. And I'm like, hello? That's like a racial slur, or not a slur, but an insult that I have heard. It's not an insult, but it could be used in an insulting way. And I haven't heard that said.
Anything's an insult if you say it insultingly, right? Like,
right.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh,
Italians, you know.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Wow. No.
Anyway.
Chaldean's crazy. That sounded like I mean, at least to me, and this is just because I'm very disconnected from this. That struck me as like a fucking Pokemon region, like Chaldea, and it's like, oh, Chaldeans, yeah, it makes sense, yada yada, right? There's got to be a Pokemon named Chaldea or something like that, like almost guaranteed, right? It got 1200, bro.
Maybe. I don't know. Man, I'm so lost. I can't keep going on this tangent. I'm afraid that you're gonna come up and invent a new type of racism with the tear that you're on.
Jotoians. Yeah.
That's
Cantoians. Anyway, we can move on anytime you want, bro.
Were we gonna talk about Palworld?
Unovians?
I feel like the
Oh, we could.
No,
you see how not. Nintendo actually did eventually sue them, but it was like not for like ripping on their whole like, hey, Pokemon inside of balls, like you have monsters inside of balls that you're partners with. They were like, hey, actually, you took our proprietary battle system. You can't throw them out of balls. That's our thing. You can't climb trees the way we do. We made that up in Mario, by the way. Can't do that. You can't glide from Pokemon like that. We did that. We had the gliders first. That was us. Get it out of here. All very, like, silly, funny nits that they're picking. I don't know. It's interesting to me, to say the least.
You know the meme that's like, no fear, one fear. That's me, but it's...
Oh, yeah.
No companies, one company.
Lethal Company.
Boo! Definitely not that one. That is not the company.
That's my company, alright?
The one
they
other...
appreciate the work I put in for the company.
The one other kind of homage that I clocked, maybe? I don't know. I could be just, like, totally huffing paint, but at the end of this movie...
Huff your paint. Mm-hmm.
When the ship is kind of... The battleship is, like, going out to meet all of the Tsarist ships. There's a lot of shots of the side of the ship where the waves are breaking against the hull. And there's a lot of shots in Jaws that look a lot like that, where it's shot from the same like water level and like it's like rising action to show like how fast it's moving and things like that. I was like, this seems, because Spielberg, he likes to, he likes his movies, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was an intentional thing, but I don't know. I mean, maybe not.
I believe it.
Just no evidence.
I believe it.
Actually, AI came up with that argument. I put that in ChatGPT right beforehand.
That's what faith is here for, Lane. Okay, I need no evidence.
Oh my god, I wish Putin would take you back as a KGB agent so you didn't have to go break for the Mormon Church. This is terrible. Oh my god.
Oh my god, this is crazy.
This is a great bit, though. This is a bit that's gonna stick.
It is a pretty good bit. Oh yeah. This is definitely not one that we're going to forget about by next episode, even though the next episode is tomorrow.
Shh, they don't need to know that.
That's why I'm letting them know. I'm letting them peek behind the curtain. Mr. Wizard, alright? Paint your face if you want. It's not going to matter back here.
Is Wizard of Oz 38? 39? I want to say 39.
That's your thing, man. That's your thing, bro. Alright.
Man, fuck off. Wizard of Oz. Not the Wizard of Oz. 39. So 14 years later is the Wizard of Oz. So, like, that would be, like, the difference between, what's a 14-year-old movie? 2011? What is that, Black Swan? Grand Budapest?
I believe it.
So, like, the difference from 2014. So, the difference from Black Swan to now versus Battleship Potemkin and Wizard of Oz. Crazy.
Paranorman, I think, is close. Paranorman's 2012. I think that's the one we should probably use. Gives me a better baseline to understand what we're talking about.
Do you have anything else to say about Battleship Potemkin from 1925? I fucking carried this episode. Okay, I tried so hard. This is why you need to take at least
you carry every episode. Fuck you.
I do carry.
I'm not taking any notes. You told me I don't need to put notes. Yeah, I know you carry. So, and
when you watch a movie and you're like, this movie's kind of hard to talk about. That's when you pull out the fucking notebook and you take notes so you have something to talk about. I'm doing this. I'm driving home my point with percussion.
I'm driving home my point with percussion.
Thank you. Do you have anything else you want to say about this movie? Or anything, I guess. Since you want
This
to talk
is
about
sort of an
fucking
open
Palworld.
forum, is it not?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't booted that game up since they first started nerfing it into the ground because they got scared of Nintendo. But I'm sure it's still fun. In the same way that I'm sure that this movie is fun in certain contexts, but is otherwise, the vegetables of movies. God, hit the nail on the head, Lane.
I didn't invent that term, just to be clear. So, film vegetables.
All right, well, I heard it from you first, and
I properly
you didn't give me the
attribute
source
my
for it.
intelligent things.
Well, who's it attributed to?
I don't know who invented it. It's a common saying.
Oh, it's a common saying. My bad, right? It's just a common saying. Oh, okay, right. My bad. You're right. My bad.
Oh my god. You better have 2 phenomenal fucking Rick's picks queued up next. We should say this. We're doing something a little fun in the month of June. So we're going to do 2 Rick's picks in a row to offset that. We will not announce yet what we're doing. We'll do that in a couple weeks, but stay tuned. But yes, so we're doing 2 Rick's picks in a row. So you get the first pass. Don't pick something stupid.
I did not have something selected previous to.
You're
right
such
now,
a
just so you're
fucking stupid hoe.
I'm
It's
just
so
making
crazy.
you aware of the situation as it stands.
You are
And
just
that's the
making me
situation as it
aware
stands.
of how you're a stupid hoe. Stupid hoe. That's what I'm going to end with. Is that?
I like that. That's
song.
good. Yeah.
Let's just watch another 75-year-old movie and watch The Great Dictator. Let's watch a Chaplin. I'm kidding. Let's not do that, please. Jesus Christ.
Okay, my bad. I was about to start saying it.
No.
What type of movie do you want to watch, huh?
I could go for something like weird and abstract or fun. Nothing too dour, I would say. So either like a a weird artsy movie or like a something fantastical or funny or epic.
Oh, damn it!
What
wasn't a movie.
What do you
My
think?
bad. My bad.
Oh,
No, my bad.
Ricky's
My bad.
looking
Okay,
at
I'm
his
still looking.
TikTok saved.
I'm not, but
We could just fucking watch Fight Club, since we've talked about Fight Club for 10 years and never watched it.
I'd be down for that.
No, it's a Rick's pick. Rick is picking. Don't listen to me just suggesting movies and.
Have you seen this is maybe a sillier one. Have you seen Kung Fu Hustle before?
Yes, but it's been a while since I saw it.
I really like that movie. That's a funny one. No. I'm not going to do one that you've already seen.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Have you seen the original?
Sorry, I've seen so many movies. Yeah, I have.
I know. Okay. Have you seen the movie? What is this? Death Proof?
Oh, I love Death Proof. Wait. Okay, fuck. Well, Death Proof is a Kurt Russell joint.
It's a Kurt Russell and it's a Tarantino joint.
I know. I am aware. I've seen Death Proof. I've recommended Death Proof on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre episode. Shout out Nick, past and future guest.
You probably have. I'm scrolling through the suggested to me movies, and I'm trying to find one that looks good.
I mean, Death Proof is a fun movie, but I have seen it.
Saying.
So.
Yeah.
I will say if you mentioned Old Boy, although I gotta say, two Old Boy and then Death Proof being in your suggested for you movies means you need to cleanse your algorithm. That's tough.
Do you want to know what the next one is? No, it's a list that I have, Lane. Do you want to know what my next one is?
American Psycho.
Ran, 1985.
Oh. I just watched Ran.
Fuck, dude! God damn it!
Just blew the mic out. I watched it a month or so ago. That was a great movie. You'd like that.
That's so fucked. I know I would like it. It's on the list. Fuck. I'm trying to find the list that I had before. Nothing. It's actually just my tabs in Google, and I'm just scrolling because like I'll Google a movie and then I'll just leave it and open a new tab.
Show it to me again. You have 390 inactive tabs on your phone.
Yeah, you bet I do. Yep.
Holy shit.
Inside Man, The Insider. Oh, Inside Man was one you suggested to me.
I was going to say, these are all movies I've recommended for sure.
Yeah. This is another one of those, yeah. Earlier, I came across a TV show, and like I was like, "Oh, this looks fun." I almost suggested it. It was Agatha Christie's Poirot, and I was gonna suggest it. I was like, "This looks like a fun little film." And then I was like, "Wait a second, 70 episodes? That's not a fucking length. What's going on?"
This is so hard. I'm trying to not like just suggest movies when things come up, but man, I'm like, hello, like there's so many. I'm trying not to influence the next pick.
Go ahead and suggest.
No. It has to be a pure Rick's pick.
They're never pure Rick's picks. What do you mean?
That's why I'm letting you. I'm sitting back. I'm just going to answer if I've seen a movie before. You have to pick. Sorry. This is like how Christopher did the Akinator game on me to tell me that I wanted Taco Bell for dinner.
Yeah. I don't know why this one's in my list. Have you seen Freaky Tales?
No.
Came out last year.
Yeah, it's got Vince Vaughn.
And this guy looks like Pedro Pascal.
Wait.
Yeah.
What? Maybe I'm thinking of a different movie.
What?
Or maybe that's just Freaky. I know of Freaky Tales. Oh, it is. It's Pedro Pascal. Yeah. Is this movie out?
Speaking of which,
this movie's not out yet.
It came out it said it came out last year. Speaking of which, I watched. I don't know if I talked about this on the pod before, so you might have to cut this out. I watched Trap recently, the new Shyamalan.
I don't remember if you mentioned it or not. Yeah, but go ahead. Oh yeah, we did talk about this.
I watched it like a month ago. I don't remember what we said about it. Did you like that movie?
I love that movie. Yeah, we talked about it on the Minecraft episode. I think with Sai.
Oh.
Because we talked about how hot what's his face is, the lead in Trap.
You think he's hot? I don't think he's hot. Yeah.
He's hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no arguing about it, frankly. But
Right. You think that? That is an opinion. Was Yi the movie that you had seen, and it was the like food movie?
No, I have not seen it. It is on the list. It's actually pretty high on the list.
Oh,
so
let's watch Yi by Edward Yang.
Okay.
All right, watchers, long awaited. I guess not for you because it's all going to be cut. Next week's Rick's pick is Yi from the year 2000, directed by Edward Yang.
You know what's funny?
Yeah,
you picked
look forward to it.
Yeah, it'll be fun. You picked a 3-hour movie for us to turn around and watch before tomorrow, so that'll be cool. Thanks, Ricky. But no, I'm excited. This has been on my watch list for a really long time. This is actually one of the oldest, like the first movies I tagged as to watch on Letterboxd. So, like,
hell yeah,
yeah.
I brought it up a couple weeks ago, so definitely a good, big, worthwhile watch. Oh, excuse me.
Cool. Okay. Yay.
Look forward to it.
Yeah. Do you want to sing "Stupid Ho" to take us out?
You a stupid hoe. You a stupid hoe. Is it that one?
That's the one. The very
Those
same.
are the only lyrics I know.
That's all you need to know. There's other shit.
Those are the only lyrics I know. Yeah, you can loop it if you want, but
that's fine. I'm not gonna do anything to promote Nicki Minaj on this podcast, so that's fair.
Yeah, everybody knows she's a motherfucking monster.
You know what was great?
What? Well, we weren't potting for 2 weeks now.
Well, yeah, that, but also, when The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, we just went for the whole episode.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
I knew I could bait you into doing it and then just end with that song. Perfect. Yay. All right.
Yay.
I'm ending. We made it over an hour.